Hey folks, I'm Chris and I'm your Commander Mechanic. Freshly revealed, we have the new precons from Duskmourn, and today we're looking at Jumpscare, the blue and green deck focusing on face-down creatures. This isn't the first, and definitely won't be the last precon focusing on face-down creatures. In fact, earlier this year we had the Deadly Disguise precon in Naya colors, and we've previously had the Faceless Menace precon in Sultai colors. Consider this one a hybrid of the two. And the box legend for the deck is Zimone Mystery Unraveler. A familiar face, Zimone is back from Strixhaven and her adventures during the Phyrexian invasion and is exploring the haunted house of Duskmourn. Once again, she's blue and green and math all over. This 4-mana 3/3 human wizard reads, Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, manifest Dread if this is the first time this ability has resolved this turn. Otherwise, you may turn a permanent you control face up. On the surface, this seems very familiar. In fact, we have multiple creatures that make another creature on landfall. But Zimone is limited to only your first landfall each turn. No infinite combos this time. Manifesting Dread is just manifest, except you get a bonus Surveil on top. You look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into play face down as a 2/2, and the other into your graveyard. No ward like on the face downs from Karlov Manor, but at least you get your pick of what comes in face down. This is a bonus since only permanents can be flipped face up. With Zimone out, every land that enters after the first gets to flip a face down permanent. That's a big benefit, and we can really cheat quite a bit with this ability. Zimone is a legend that enables herself, you just need to sprinkle some lands into the mix. But Zimone isn't our only new legend in the deck. No, we also have Kianne Corrupted Memory. For anyone that thinks she looks familiar, you're right. She's the ghost or memory of Zimone's Quandrix Professor, so technically a second returning character. This 4-mana 2/2 illusion is just as mathy too. She reads, as long as Kianne's power is even, you may cast non-creature spells as though they had flash. As long as Kianne's power is odd, you may cast creature spells as though they had flash. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Kianne. Immediately, we see what we want to be doing with this legend. She grows on card draw, like we've seen on some other creatures, so she can definitely swing for the fences if left alone. On top of that, she lets us cast spells at instant speed depending on her power. So in a deck around her, we'll want to be able to draw cards at instant speed to play with what spells we can or can't cast with flash. That's going to make Brainstorm or Opt a premium, as drawing an odd number of cards lets us switch in between the benefits. Let's take a look at which of these commanders are better to build around and what cards we want to cut or add to tune it in a cohesive direction. If you're looking to pick up the cards to build this deck yourself, check out my sponsor Card Trader. Card Trader is one of the world's largest global networks on buying or selling cards. They make it easy to find cards at the cheapest prices from all around the world, in languages you're looking for, and in the treatments that you're looking for. For 5% off your first order, use my promo code MECHANIC. Check out the link in the description for more. Now, of the two, between Zimone and Kianne, they both do vastly different things. But since the main direction of the precon is towards face-down creatures, I want to focus on Zimone. A different list for Kianne is possible, focusing on card draw and sneaking spells in on other players' turns, but let's keep Zimone at the head of this upgrade. Mainly so that we can play with some of the new goodies that come in the deck. Brand new cards like Glitch Interpreter. For just 3 mana, it's a way to start manifesting creatures if you control none. Or it's a way to turn those creature cards into card draw when they connect. The really interesting part is that it specifies face-down creatures for the first ability, but only colorless creatures for the second trigger. Meaning artifact creatures count for that card draw. That's a benefit that means a lot more outside of just face-down focused decks, and I see it being pretty versatile. Speaking of versatile, so is Curator Beastie, a 6-mana 6/6 with reach. It also specifies colorless creatures, but this time colorless creatures entering with 2 +1/+1 counters. That's amazing if you're making mirror tokens or shapeshifters. But additionally, when this beastie enters or attacks, you get to manifest Dread, making a 2/2 face-down creature that enters with 2 counters on it, making it a 4/4. So yes, like Big Daddy Grave Titan, the beastie brings 10 power to the table for 6 mana, getting at least another 4 power on the table each turn. That's a hell of a bonus and can be a big threat on its own. Another cool creature is Shriekwood Devourer. For a massive 7 mana, this 7/5 Treefolk has Trample, and whenever you attack with 1 or more creatures, not necessarily this guy specifically, you get to untap lands equal to the greatest power of an attacking creature. So, if you're swinging with the Beastie we just took a look at, you could cast this guy for 7, attack with the Beastie, and immediately untap 6 lands. I don't know about you, but I'm okay paying a net 1 mana for a dude like this. But maybe my favorite new creature in the deck is Giggling Skitterspike. This messed up little guy is a 4 mana 1/1 indestructible toy that reads, whenever Giggling Skitterspike attacks, blocks, or becomes the target of a spell, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. You can also monstrous it once for 5 mana to put 5 counters on it. I love this little guy. Damage to each opponent in Commander, in colorless, is fantastic, and the fact that this guy does it if you look at him funny is even better. Attack, block, or target with a spell, and you ping the whole table. Look for me to slap a bunch of equipment or counters on this horrid creature and go to town. In my opinion, this is a must get. Now the last new card I want to highlight is They Came From the Pipes. This 5 mana enchantment enters and manifests Dread twice. 5 mana for 2 2/2 bodies is pretty good already, but the bonus is that it says whenever a face down creature you control enters, draw a card. So this is 5 mana for 2 2/2 bodies and 2 cards drawn. That's a whole ton of value, and considering in a deck led by Zimone or Kadena, this is going to be drawing you a lot of cards through the game. It makes the central crux of the deck hum, and is hands down one of the best new additions to this archetype. Now let's look at the changes we want to make to this list by first highlighting combo time. In the default deck we have an infinite combo with Zimone, Eudora, and Sakura Tribe Elder. See, we can sack Steve for a land, and Eudora will see him die and return him as a forest. With that landfall trigger from Zimone, we flip Steve face up and sack him again. This lets us put all of our basic lands onto the battlefield tap, gives us infinite green mana, infinite landfall triggers, and infinite dies and enters triggers. Not too shabby for a precon, but because of this we definitely want to keep our landfall triggers in the deck. Tachiova, AC, and Scoot Swarm are all staying in, and we might want to add even more landfall triggers too. Rampaging Baloth isn't in the list, but should be, and we could even put in Lotus Cobra too. An Essence Warden or Prosperous Innkeeper in the deck could also turn this into infinite life gain, and putting another creature that sacrifices itself, like a Spore Frog or Alchemist Apprentice or Brindleboar, gives us more additional redundancy. That's all if we want to go all in on this combo. This would also mean we want to streamline our mana base to lean very heavily into basic lands. Cut all unnecessary non-basics, because we really don't need that many that aren't providing much utility in a 2-color deck. I'd also want to make sure we have some better payoffs for creatures and permanents we're potentially sneaking into play with Zimone. More creatures with Morph or Disguise is a good start, like Printlifter Ooze or Brine Elemental or Thousand Winds. Ones where we can control when they enter on our own and turn them face up with Zimone to cheat their massive morph costs. One thing I don't like about the existing list is that all of the high mana value cards are green. We're really lacking bonuses we get from blue's massive evasive creatures. In order to make room for some of these pieces, let's cut some of the mediocre cards that masquerade as payoffs in the default list. Overgrown Zealot, Scab Ruinator, and Greater Tanuki are all subpar, even for a precon, and can get cut. Beanstalk Giant, Sentinel Hierophants, and Shigeki can all go too. There's way more ways to get lands into play than overpaying for a spell plus creature component. And we don't want to be tapping our creatures for mana. Spells can get cut too, so we can focus on our combo. We want to be focusing on cheating value creatures or combo pieces into play, so we don't need Aethergale, Biomass Mutation, or, unfortunately, Cackling Counterpart. Keeping our creature count high is our priority here. Now, if we want to add some real money to the deck, let's look at the upgrade. If we're going all in on the combo of Zimone and Eudora, let's go a step further and add in Altar of Dementia. This turns any third non-token creature into infinite mill and can win us the game on the spot. Definitely the first card I'd look to add with a few extra bucks. Also, big money payoffs like Seedborn Muse would go great in this or any deck with green in it. It's default great and lets us pay our morph costs consistently if we're flipping creatures regularly that have been manifested by Zimon's ability. But being able to cheat in massive colorless creatures is a big benefit too, like Kozilek the Broken Reality, or Blightsteel Colossus, or Void Winnower. They are all massive in this deck, where we could realistically have these in play and flipped by turns 3 or 4. These are expensive cards that aren't necessary to make the deck function, but certainly add some oomph. Since we are running the combo that comes in the default list, we could juice that a bit from a consistency standpoint. If we're all in on this line, we could include tutors. Worldly Tutor, Green Sun Zenith, and Court of Calling all get the pieces we need, since all of the pieces we're looking for are creatures. Finale of Devastation is a good add too, not only as a tutor, but once we have all of our lands in play, it's a great finisher too. Overall, I think the default list is fun, and out of the box plays very well, trust me. But with some streamlining, it's a strong Simic Nonsense deck. But let me know in the comments, are you more excited to play Zimone or Kian, and which one are you planning on putting in the lead of this deck? You can find my full list with upgrades in the description at my sponsor, Moxfield. Moxfield is the best deck building platform in the world, and makes it easy to check the changes made to this list with their history function. Check out my cuts and ads all in one place, and while you're there, be sure to follow my profile to never miss a brew. And be sure to check out Card Conduit. If you're looking to sell your cards, ship them unsorted to Card Conduit, where they'll assess your cards and get you the best prices. They keep a cut of the sales and send you the rest. Easy. Don't mess with multiple buy lists again, or person-to-person sales for a single card at a time. Sell it all with Card Conduit today. And while you're here, be sure to check out these other videos on the channel. If you were inspired to brew today, you have to hit that subscribe button. And as always, folks, good luck and have fun.